What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Bear Show. I'm Ivan Vargas. What a fucking disappointing loss it was yesterday at Soldier Field. The Bears lose 20-17 in a heartbreaker. Lot to go around. A lot of blame to go around. Lot to discuss. Even though we wanted the Bears to continue on, I feel like this is the lesson that needed to be learned when it's all said and done. But first, let's go ahead, like, share, subscribe, become a patron today at www.thetapeneverlies.com. It's going to be, I'll tell you this, we've only just begun. The season has just started here at the Tape Never Lies. I'm getting the word from Phil that we're getting the file loaded up with a bunch of players right now so we could get cutting up film. I know Korn's talking about a mock draft tonight. I'm definitely not doing that shit tonight. We'll just keep it as usual. We'll discuss the show and break down some of these post game interviews. But before we do that, let's discuss the game at hand. This Bears team gave you every reason to believe in them all the way up to the end. And quite honestly, like, there was part of me was just hoping that there was a double doink in the Rams, fortunes, but it is what it is. I'm not going to take anything away from the Rams because to me, the Rams did not win that game. The Bears lost it. I love where our future is headed. The head coach, like I said, has transformed this team tremendously. Culture-wise, the mentality when you go out there, the I guess the embrace and the embodiment of the city of Chicago when it comes to our arch rivals, when it comes to anybody in the division. He's everything I could have asked for as far as the guy I want to lead my team going into the future. But he himself has a lot to learn. This game, at the very least, should have been a walk-off miracle for Caleb Williams. We're talking about one field goal, just one. I'm not, and I could understand conditions. I can understand maybe there was some wind or whatever. I get that part, but you were inside the 30. You know what I mean? Like, this wasn't a 50, 60-yard field goal where you had to hope and pray that Cairo gets enough leg on it. These are what Cairo does. Those are within his range. It was just very, it was very, and I don't want to, it was very Ben Johnson. Like, we'll call it like that. It's, to me, sometimes his aggressiveness is his flaw. You live by the sword, you die by the sword, but this is playoff time, and your fucking defense stepped up. We had everything going our way. Everything we could have asked for. The defense was getting their offense off the field. Time after time, they did it. We kept driving on these guys. Offensively driving, getting in position to get points. Yeah, they're not touchdowns, but we need points if the defense is playing this way. We can look at Matt Stafford's stats, and they're not great. 20 of 42, 258, 47.6 completion percentage for all those completion percentage fucking junkies out there. 0 touchdowns, 0 picks. He took 4 sacks, got a 64 rating. Now, Caleb's aren't great either. You got 3 picks. We'll discuss all those picks in a second. But they're similar. To be honest, they're better. They're better. Maybe one, he's off by a yard in yards, but everything else is better besides the interceptions. And like I said, I think maybe one of those One of those, maybe two of those, I'd put on Caleb. But again, there's just no way you could blame this game completely on Caleb Williams, on Ben Johnson. But again, your defense was going at these guys. They were playing up to task. Puka Nacua, 5 receptions, 56 yards off 10 targets. They held them down. Now, he spread it around. He had to because he had to find guys open. Devontae Adams, 2 receptions, 24 yards. They were doing their fucking job, man. 4 sacks from this defense, this struggling defense. We saw it all year long. They couldn't get to the quarterback. They were on their ass this game. You had every opportunity. You had everything going for you. But you got too fucking greedy. You take points in the playoffs when you have to, man. When they're there and they're given to you, you take the fucking points. You could have went into that second drive. You went 85 fucking yards in that second drive. Let me pull this up. Hold on. Here we go. I'm sorry. 80 yards, 15 plays, 80 yards in your second fucking drive. 4 touchdowns. You should be up 10 to fucking 7. The little things, man. It's all about the little things. And Ben Johnson is not without his flaws. He's not. Exactly. Jeremy says it perfect. Rookie head coaching mistakes. Rookie head coaching mistakes. I'm just talking about one fucking field goal. Now, we could talk about the other situations where they got into Rams territory and could have taken points as well. But all we fucking needed was one. One from those drives where you couldn't continue the drive. You tried to go for it on 4th down. Take the fucking points. Take the fucking points. It's a Rams team that can strike at any moment. High-powered offense. You needed those fucking points. We know your offense can put it in the end zone. We know it. But sometimes these drives, it's just not it. You go back to the play. You go back to the drawing board and figure it out on the sideline. But damn, man, I feel like the Rams did enough, but the Bears lost the game on their own. The mistakes, the drops, countless drops. Rome Odunze whiffing on blocks. Guys not, in critical situations, just losing their focus, losing their bearing, losing their physicality and aggression. Not running their fucking route through. Not giving a fuck at times. Picking up 15-yard personal fucking fouls when we got them fucking stopped. It's stupid shit like that cost you fucking games, man, in the playoffs. And they fucking did it. They did it. Everything they had to do to win, they did. But they did everything to lose that fucking game at the same time. Both can be true. It's hard for me to go ahead and other than Dennis Allen on the last play and maybe a few other plays here and there, they did enough. Like I said, that defense did enough. They did enough. But that final play was just so questionable with how over aggressive you had to be. You're 3rd and 6. You have a vet like Matt Stafford. You have a fucking all-pro wide receiver, probably the best receiver in the league, in Puka Nacua. And you let him run free. You know what I'm saying? Like you let them run free. I wouldn't have given him space at all. There would have been no way I would have allowed Puka Nacua, of all all the receivers you had let just wide fucking open for whatever reason. That's not the fucking guy to do it. So again, like I said, there's a lot of blame. Like it's not just Ben Johnson, it's not just Caleb Williams, it's not just DJ. Even though that fucking last route, I don't know. I don't know, man. You've done so well. You've regained trust in the fan base. You regained trust among you gain trust amongst your quarterback and the offensive teammates. But this isn't the first time we've seen you lax on a fucking route and it end up costing us. This isn't the first time. And if you want to be considered a top receiver in the fucking league and you're not running, if you're not playing like you're going to get the fucking ball every single time, what are we fucking doing here with you? If you're the number one fucking guy, you should expect the ball every fucking play, which means you got to run your fucking route through. I don't get it. If you want to say Caleb should have went check down, fine. I can understand that. But if you say Caleb was the reason that pass got picked off, I don't believe it, man. He's trusting his fucking guy. You put faith in your fucking guy to go run that route. You're expecting him to run that route fucking through. And he doesn't do it for you. That fucking killed me. Killed me when I saw it. And I knew it immediately. Because there's so much space. There's so much green grass. It's like, DJ, where you going? DJ, why? Like, you're not even, didn't even expect the ball to be thrown to him. It looked like. Looked like he just rounded it off. Looked like it was very lazy. He wasn't trying to find, his way to a spot or anything like that. It just looked like, I'm just going to run this through, and he's going to throw to the check down. That's what I feel. Like DJ expected him to go check down and not try to take a shot there. If it's there, if it's open, they're going to fucking take a shot, man. So as a wide receiver, a veteran wide receiver, a guy who's gotten paid here, a guy who's been there and done that with lesser quarterbacks, why are you fucking quitting with this guy? I don't understand it, bro. I don't understand it. So many instances this season where I'm like, DJ, what the fuck? And then you're like, all right, DJ, even in this game, he's getting beat up. And you're like, okay, DJ, he catches the touchdown. And you're like, all right, DJ, let's go. And then you see shit like that. Like, what the fuck? Run the route through. Expect the fucking ball, man. It was a very, very frustrating end. But once again, the Bears they're solely to blame. Solely to blame. We'll go old, Denny Green. You let them off the hook. They are who we thought they were. You were able to play the game that you needed to be played. You were able to play it exactly how you should have had it. But the over-aggressiveness, some might want to call it arrogance, and, the inability to capitalize on opportunities, drop passes, miss interceptions, things of that nature, it cost you in the end. It cost you in the end. When you have a game like this, it's the highest stakes, win or go home. Your focus can't slip one fucking bit. And this entire game, it felt like top to bottom, this team's focus in critical situations was just off. It takes one or two plays, guys. One or two plays change a game week in and week out. One or two plays, difference here, difference there, couple yards here, a field goal there. Things fucking change. But to lose focus like this, and that's what I'm going to call. That's what I'm going to say. It's what it is. You weren't focused in the most crucial situations, the most crucial game of your fucking lives. You made too many mistakes. Too many mistakes. Now, will there be, people that think that this is a one-off? Sure, and I think those people are fools. I think they're either haters. You could already see the haters out there now, especially those butthurt ass Packer fans who just seem to. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird look for them. I haven't seen them like this. It's almost as if they're forcing themselves to be happy we lost, because I think they're really questioning the future of their team, to be honest with you. I think they are. And then, you got haters all around, but fuck those people, because I think if this team can take this offseason and focus on cleaning up the small details, focus on adding, more aggressive, talented players, we're gonna be all right. But the problem lies in how we can accumulate draft picks, how can we can figure out this cap situation, because it's going to be tough. We don't have a lot of money going into this offseason. We don't have a lot of draft picks. So decisions will be made. And a lot of those decisions will have to be tough. I'm quite sure. I don't know where we're going to go as far as anybody is concerned on defense, to be honest with you. But I see people with, even myself. Maybe there's a package for a guy like Crosby. Maybe you add in a wide receiver under contract. Maybe you add in a cornerback under contract and a draft pick or something like that. But you need to find a way to get somebody who can generate chaos consistently on the defensive front. One or two plays. It came down to the defense again, right? The game came down to the defense. If you gave the offense another opportunity, I think the offense corrects itself, right? And maybe picks up points. But 3rd and 6, you're relying on your cornerbacks to fucking blitz and an all-out blitz to generate pressure, because you can't rely on 4, and you're nervous about sending 5. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you sent the house because you didn't trust the defensive line to generate enough pressure to get Matthew Stafford off his mark in time. So, number one, to start this offseason, it's got to be the defensive line. It's got to be pass rush. Got to be an edge guy. And then if we're going to go second, it's going to be somebody in the middle. Javon Dexter, you're under contract, but it's not a guy not a guy I trust to consistently, generate pressure up the middle. He does stupid fucking shit in the most critical times of games. Can he help? Yeah, I think he could be a good a help. I think he's going to still be on this football team, but he's not a guy who he's just not a guy who's going to, like I said, consistently generate that pressure we need up the middle. The physicality, like he's a big dude, but I don't know, like I really don't know how physical, you can really gauge him. I'm just gonna have to go back all season and just watch him, which will be tedious in itself. But it'll you'd have to watch him consistently. But I don't believe his physical nature is there either. There's just no nasty to him, if that makes sense. There's no dog to him at times. He takes plays off, does dumb shit, 15-yard penalties. Next would be a defensive tackle. And then we can move on to the linebackers and the secondary. But again, huge turnover on the defensive side of the football is coming. And as far as offense is concerned, there will be pieces moved. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure who. Like we could talk about DJ Moore being traded. Someone like that. But I'm just as far as major faces on offense. It maybe a Cole Kmet. I know you could save some cap room if you moved on from him, but I'm having a harder time seeing the movement of players on offense than I am on defense. I think offense, you're going to be all right because you got a fucking guy in 18 who, I mean, he's just going to get better. If he, like I said, if he takes this and doesn't, you know, take a extended vacation and gets right to work, gets right back in the lab, gets with a mechanics guy, works on the footwork again, drilling it over and over and over again, so it becomes natural to him. He becomes more balanced, becomes stronger. All these motherfuckers need to get in the weight room, especially at wide receiver. One wide receiver in particular, number 15, definitely needs to lift some fucking weights. Definitely needs to be stronger. Blocking, catching the football, yards after catch, gotta be stronger, 15. Gotta be better. Top 10 picks, don't drop fucking touchdown passes like that, bro. It's not too much to ask a guy you invested that much in to make fucking plays when plays need to be made. It's not too much to ask. And again, if anybody's saying, "Oh, you're being too harsh on them," no, the standard's the standard. They set the standard. The standard is up here now. There's no more of this. Oh, we had a good season, great, fantastic season. Fantastic season. You got to taste, you got to want more. You got to be hungrier. You can't go into this offseason thinking, "Oh, well, we'll be good. Oh, man, we can't get rid of this guy. We can't get." No. There's got to be a focus on making this team top to bottom better. It starts with me personally, defensively. You know what I'm talking about, defensive line. But you can improve wherever you can improve, fucking improve personnel wise. It's got to be. You got to go for it now. You got a quarterback who can just do things that nobody else can. And if he could learn how to control certain situations, become more mechanically fine-tuned, the sky's still the fucking limit. But you got to be able to add more talent around this defense and add, I wouldn't say more talent because they got a lot of talent on offense, but I would say just continue to refine and reinforce the offensive line and add more talent where you need to. You're going to lose a guy like Zacchaeus probably. You'll lose a couple guys on offense here or there. So add more talent, add more depth. It's going to be tough, but you're gonna see guys moved on from in order to free up some space for this offseason. Is it a tall task? Yeah, it is. But you have a shot. Your window's open now. This show's called, I labeled it opportunity lost because that's exactly what it is. This was a shot. People talk about that house money. Yeah, I just, it doesn't sit well with me. This was a shot. You had a shot. Caleb's at the Hawks game right now. Hawks up 1-0. He's over there hanging out with PCA. Awesome. Awesome. I hope you stay in Chicago and get right to work. Enjoy this hockey game. Tomorrow I better see you running or some shit like that. Going and lifting some fucking weights. Because again, you had a shot. You had the number one offense, a team that everybody was talking about as the most complete team in the motherfucking NFL all season long. You had them by their fucking nuts and you didn't clip them. Let them off the fucking hook because you made too many mistakes. You have to be better. This team has to be better. And I think they will be. As long as they hold this shit like we're going to hold this shit here at this network, we're going to hold this loss. We're going to remember it. We're going to remember the mistakes. We're going to remember the good, the bad, the ugly, and we're going to go ahead and break it all down for you in the start of the season. This is the start of our season. This shit ain't over. We've only just begun. Let's go ahead and jump in with Ben Johnson after the game. First of our interviews I'm going to show here. I'll show Ben, I'll show Caleb, and then I'll show, I believe this is Caleb today at the exit press conference after they had their exit interviews and everything. But here is Ben Johnson post-game.
All right, here we go. Colston was the one that didn't make it to the end there. He had a concussion, but everyone else, for the most part, made it through that game. But disappointing result tonight. Our guys fought the entire way, just like they have all season long. I thought this was very much like our team has been. And you got to give the Rams credit. Coach McVay does a phenomenal job. Coach Shula did a great job with their defense this week, and they ended up making a couple more plays than we did, and that's why ended up going into overtime, and they ended up coming out on top. And so, like I said, disappointing result. Our guys are feeling it right now. They all believed, man. They all believed all year long that we could find a way to win each and every week, and so it's disappointing like that. But I am proud of the group. It's a special group. I said that a few weeks ago. I believe that to my core. That when you're with a group of men for the last time in the locker room, and it's just not going to be the same going forward. That. I appreciate all of them, the men and the women, coaches, players, support staff, everybody that had a role this season. It was a special year, and this will be hopefully a feeling in this locker room that we won't forget, and we'll be able to use it as fuel going forward. But with that, I'll go ahead and open it up.
Yeah, before we get going, I hope they do use it as fuel going forward. Like Koki said, apparently Caleb and DJ have not talked since the last play. Apparently DJ hasn't talked to fucking anybody since that last play, which I think is kind of cowardly. I'll say it. It's cowardly. You run away. People want to talk about it, bro. Like, what happened on that play? The biggest play of the game. What happened? We can't find DJ. Nowhere to be found. Where in the world is DJ San Diego? Fuck, man. That right there is some weak ass shit. Sorry. That's some weak shit. Running off, not wanting to answer questions, not wanting to talk to nobody. That's some fucking weak shit.
Describe the difficulty and the suddenness of this ending for that group.
Yeah. it's the NFL, right? Is you make it to the tournament like this, and the moment we knew we had to win 4 in a row to actually feel good at the end of the thing, and we didn't get that done, and so this is what happens: is it ends abruptly, and for the young players in the room, it's like, okay, well, come in tomorrow, and we go through the exit process.
Samo, you don't have to simp for them. They all made mistakes. Who made a big mistake and then ran away from everybody? DJ Moore. That's who. Ask them that. Why did he run away? Why hasn't he answered any questions? They all made mistakes. DJ made one of the biggest ones. DJ, all season long, you could point to almost every game where there's a play where DJ doesn't run his route all the way through. You could point almost every game where he's going to miss a block or two here or there. Yeah, he's made big plays, and I'm grateful for those big plays. But let's not go ahead and just forget all the bullshit that he has done. Biggest play of your fucking life. You're jogging? You're jogging? You're about to beat the fucking Rams at home to go to the NFC Championship game. You're jogging on any fucking play. He deserves blame. Does he get traded? I don't know. But let's not go ahead and just be like, oh, DJ, he could do no fucking wrong. Let's look at all. Yeah, everybody made a mistake. DJ should be owning up to it too. Where the fuck is he?
And then we go on, and but the veteran leadership has been outstanding all year long. Those guys are a key part of what we've done. All those guys in that line, I mean, they've all played significant roles in us getting here to this point. And so, it ends quickly, and that's life in this league.
And what did you think of the throw Caleb made at the end, backpedaling at the 40-yard line?
The 4th down to tie it up, ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I mean, you talk about that 4th and 8 from last week and how outstanding that was, and I think this one was probably even another level ahead of that. So there's some things that you just can't coach. He's got that about him. He's got a knack. He's clutch. He does so many good things. He's an eraser. I have plenty of bad calls each and every week, and he helps make it right for me. And I know he's feeling it because we didn't win and have some turnovers mixed in there, and he's feeling
highly
it. But
overpaid.
He's one of those guys I'm talking about. We'll remember this feeling, and he's going to be stronger for it.
Did you give much consideration to going for 2 there?
Thought about it. Yeah. Thought about it. Probably what played a little bit of a factor was, our goal to go situations hadn't gone very clean. Our inside the 5 plan hadn't worked out quite like we had hoped. And so just felt better about taking our chances there in overtime.
And what was your viewpoint on the last interception from Caleb, both through his lens and the route that
I'll have to see it. I stand behind the defense a little bit, so I did see space. I saw grass. And then the guy, I didn't see that defender from my perspective, and so I'll have to see it. But I did think as the play was going on, I was like, oh crap, we got something. But great play by that player.
Then how do you make sure that the special feeling you guys have now can carry over to something tangible next season?
Yeah, that'll be something that next season's next season. I mean, it's a whole different group. It's a whole different chapter. It's we'll have to write a whole brand new story, and so. That's the thing about this is you put in all this work and you sacrifice and you trust the people around you, and you can't take any shortcuts. I wish I could say that this is momentum from year one. We'll take it. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And I honestly, I don't even want to talk about next year yet. There'll be a time and a place for it, but we're still hurting. We had a great opportunity here this year to make a name for ourselves. And I'm proud that we were able to get to this point, and still disappointed that we fell short.
How do you assess what Caleb is right now, where you see these phenomenal plays that you can't coach, but you and him both talk a lot about a significant list of things where he can still improve and get a lot better?
Yeah, I mean, he's gotten so much better over the course of the season. I can say that from being the play caller. The coaching staff would say that. I think his teammates would tell you the same thing. He's going to continue to ascend. His comfort level in what we were doing has gotten better each and every week. There's plays every week that go from us talking about over the course of the week, and he just brings it to life on game day. So I'm very encouraged about where he's at. I think we're going to be able to watch this tape from this first year together, and I expect us to really learn from a lot of things and be better next year.
Last thing I'm going to say on the DJ route until the next thing I'm going to say. Even if, right, and I hear you, Sammo, about the side adjustment before, but even if that's the case, and you don't discuss, there was plenty of time for DJ to get after that motherfucker and try to knock that ball out. Plenty of time to turn into a DB and knock that ball out if you weren't fucking jogging. That's what I'm saying. The effort is what fucking pissed me off the most. That fucking effort on a play like that, that's what fucking pissed me off the most. Whether you ran the fucking bad route or not, you still had a shot to knock that fucking thing away. You did. You did. And and I'm not trying to pile everything on you, Sammo, but it's, to me, that's blasphemy. That's fucking sacrilege. You can't fucking run your route out. You can't even go ahead and try to make a play to knock the ball away from the guy. Nothing. Just slowed up right behind him and witnessed. That's what he was. He was a witness to the play.
Think about the defensive effort today. A lot of people, how would Stafford could do this defense, but they really came.
Yeah, no, I thought that's the shame. That's part of the shame. I mean, our defense played their tails off. They did. I thought they did a great job. That's the number one offense in football, both yards and points. And I thought Dennis and the defensive coaching staff, they had a great plan. They got weapons all over the place on the perimeter, but also that running game is very efficient and it can wear on you. And so they pose a lot of problems, and yet our guys did a nice job taking the plan, bringing it to life. I thought they played with great emotion. I thought they played hard throughout that game, and they certainly had us in it the whole time.
You mentioned the troubles, like the goal of those situations didn't go the way you wanted to. Do you feel like that was an execution issue on your guys' part, or do you feel like that was something they were doing on defense or some sort of mixture?
I'll go back and look at that tape. I don't know that I was necessarily surprised by anything from what they were doing. But once again, they play very sound. They play violent. We've been saying that all week, particularly about their front, and they did a good job. They earned that, and we didn't.
And Caleb was typically careful with the ball. Is it something that the Rams were doing, or just was it kind of jitters for him, or what do you attribute it to?
No, I mean, I would go back and I'll look at all three interceptions, but
and that's a good point, Flex. Like, if that's the discussion, I'm all for that. If we want to talk about head coach, why don't we just make sure that Caleb understands we want to chew up some yards here, not necessarily risk a shot, even though, again, whatever the argument is, whether it was there, whether it was DJ, whatever the fuck you want to say. Why wasn't the focus and the mentality, let's go ahead, chip down, keep moving the clock, you know what I'm saying? Keep methodically moving down the field, set up Cairo for a game-winning walk-off field goal. To me, that should have been the mentality throughout. And that's why I say, like, Ben Johnson's got a Ben Johnson problem. Ben Johnson there needs to be a man in the mirror moment this offseason where he looks back at all his plays, the ones that worked, the ones that didn't work, how many times it worked, where it didn't work, and figure out how you're going to go ahead and operate next season, because you cannot come out next season and do shit like that all season long and, expect not to pay for it in the end. You can't hope for Caleb Williams miracles to fucking bail you out every game. You know what I'm saying? Like, at a certain point, you have to be part of the reason why we've closed out a game because you outcoached your opponent. You did everything well. I felt like the players did everything they could, as far as defense is concerned. Offense needs to make some more plays. It's just, you can't blame anyone, but you got to be able as a head coach to give them the opportunity, right? Like, you took away opportunity from them to go up 3-0, even with their touchdown. You come back 80 yards and you go up 10-0, and you pretty much controlled most of the rest of the game. You did everything you had to do, and then all of a sudden you did everything you had to do to lose the game, right? You did everything you could to win and everything you could to lose. And one side prevailed over the other. Hopefully, hopefully this is the fuel. Hopefully this is the fuel. And these guys are, especially these younger players, are fired up. Go ahead, get healthy, do what you got to do. But for especially the younger players, if you want to be great, if you want this team to be great, if you want to win a fucking Super Bowl, you need to be on your shit as soon as you can feel like you're healthy, and you're rested enough. No, no fucking, 7-month safaris or some shit like that. None of that shit. We want to be better. You want to be better. You want this team to be better. You got to put in the fucking work for it, and that starts right now.
No, yeah, I thought I didn't think he had any jitters or anything like that. I thought he was the normal Caleb that I've grown accustomed to, and like I said, those guys made plays and we didn't.
And how did you arrive at your decision on the left side of the line, and how did you feel like that worked out?
Yeah, I mean, a big part of that was predicated on you get going in the tape and you see a guy like Verse on their side and the type of rusher that he is. He's very powerful. He's very violent. He was that way coming out of college, and that's translated to the NFL, and it showed up all over the tape where he's taking tackles and just driving them straight back on the quarterback's lap. And we wanted to we just thought Joe had a great anchor, and he was going to be able to help us in that regard. And so credit to him. Of course, he's done it, and he's willing to do whatever's necessary to help the team win. So got a great group like that. Yep.
Ben Johnson after the game, again, do we put the blame on Ben? Is it all on Ben? No, it's not all on Ben. It's not all on DJ. It's not all on, all these guys. I mean, we pointed out everybody to be blaming, right? None of them are on the Rams. None of those guys, none of the people, none of the players, none of the coaches that we're fucking blaming are on the Rams. Because, again, you had a situation, the game was set up for you to take. Even in regulation, I felt like the game was set up for you to take. And, Caleb Williams does fucking Caleb Williams things and just becomes the Iceman. And you're hoping that you could just find one more stop, one more play, one more good coaching decision to get you over the hump. And you fell short. You can't keep stacking them throughout the games and keep hoping that you're going to find a way to claw it out in the end. And regardless of how many times they did it this season, which was fantastic and phenomenal, right? You had to get one more play out of these guys. And that's kind of where I think, if I want to put a phrase to what this Bears team needed all season, really, like even in their losses, was just one more play. Offense, defense, just making one more fucking play in some of these games that we've lost in critical situations in games that we've won, but we could have won, handedly. One more plays needs to be made. One more, solid coaching decision. One more good kick. One more good block. One more fucking tackle. And you're right fucking there. And you didn't have it. You didn't have it. And I felt like the game was kind of a microcosm of the season, right? You got this overachieving team who believes, who fights, who is exciting, but the flaws stack up and they become insurmountable if you can't correct them. And for me, that's where we lie right now. If we can find a way to correct these mistakes and get one more fucking play, we can be Super Bowl champions. Like you definitely need personnel, and I know there's a lot to go around, but if you could have this mentality, have this coaching staff, I know Bieniemy might be out of here, but if you keep this foundation locked, one more play, man. One more play. Here's Caleb Williams after the game. If it will pop up. There we go.
Awesome. Let's get it going.
Hey, like on that final throw, session, what did you see? What did you expect to happen?
Yeah, I gotta go back and watch it. Obviously, haven't seen it and don't really know. But from in the moment, saw the front side safety down, the front side of the concept. Ended up getting hemmed up a little bit, and so moved on and had DJ going over top over all of it. Just miscommunication between him and I. Tried to flatten him off under the safety, and he kept it vertical from what I saw on obviously in the moment.
Caleb, how do you describe the suddenness of this and being on this joyride and it's just over?
Yeah, it's tough. Being in that locker room, the best moments is being in that locker room after games and after wins, and being with the guys that you all have a common goal. You all sacrifice family time, and things like that, and all that you sacrifice to be in this position, to be in those moments. And so it's tough. And so, in these moments, you feel that you let your team down, or you feel that you this or that. And it's a good lesson learned for us. First time being in this situation for me and for us as a team. And, I'm excited for what's to come. But obviously, going to go back and watch this and figure out how I can be better. And that's the exciting part.
On the tying touchdown pass, when you are scrambling for 10+ yards,
yep.
What are you thinking during that time? Any idea what you're going to see when you turn around?
Touchdown Miami. There's
I ended up getting a little bit pressure, and so try and break contain and just break angles and slow those guys down so that when I do turn around, I can have a little bit more time possibly to be able to find somebody. And they did a good job containing me, and so I just gained a little bit more depth. And I saw Cole one-on-one over there with everybody else on the other side, at least near the goalpost. I understanding that 14 was on him. He's a little bit smaller guy, and Cole's obviously a 6 foot tight end and things like that. So I just wanted to give my best ball and give him a shot. Understand it's fourth down and kind of game on the line. Well, was game on the line.
Can you appreciate? I know it's tough now, obviously, with how important is the winner and loss. Can you appreciate what you did with that throw and what Cole did and just the moment you provided?
Yeah, it was cool in the moment, but I will say I can appreciate the organization, the city of Chicago. I can appreciate the sacrifice, the growth that we've had as a team, and I can appreciate the growth that I've had, the trust that I've built with Ben and the other my other teammates and things like that. So those are probably the things that I can appreciate.
Did you think that you would have another I was just going to say, after that play, did you think, here we are engineering another comeback, and, did you kind of envision how this is going to end because you guys have had so many comebacks?
Yeah, you obviously you want to be on the better side of it, so you're envisioning all good things. And the moment you're envisioning, going out and winning and putting up the game-winning either field goal or touchdown and things like that. So, yeah, you envision it, especially after that moment. You want to, like I said, you want to have those positive things in your mind in those moments to be able to go out there and try and win a game.
What did all of these late comebacks all season? What does this mean for next year? What does this mean for what you can do? Do you think of it as momentum, or is every year its own thing?
Every year it's its own thing. But I will say the core of this team, the young players, obviously the players that have some longer contracts and things like that. We got a good core that the organization's done a good job of building. And so, the growth that we've had and things like that, is going to be enjoyable. We're going to be here for a little bit. And so I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the growth. I'm excited about being able to go back and watch this. I'm excited about being able to get back and next year being able to learn more than I did this year and keep growing and us as a team and organization to be able to keep growing.
You mentioned the trust that you built up with Ben.
Mm-hmm.
How do you describe the strength of where your relationship is versus where it was when you walked into the building in April?
Yeah, it's grown tremendously, and that's something that I wanted to do. That's something that was very important for me, because I want to be here for a while, and I know he wants to be here for a while, and just being able to attack our relationship and bond and trust between each other was really important for us to be able to help be in this position as a team and to be able to be in this position many times in the future.
Caleb, with the way the fans and the whole city really was just buzzing about you and the team this season, what was it all like this year for you in Chicago? Yeah, it was awesome. It was a really fun year. One of my more fun years of being able to play football, between the growth, the hard times, the good times, and just being able to be in the locker room with the guys that we had and the guys that are going to be here. And so I'm excited. I'm proud of our guys. I appreciate the city of Chicago. I appreciate Chicago Bears, the organization, and I truly appreciate the coaches and their sacrifice, and obviously my teammates.
What happened on the
Yeah, don't worry, DJ. I'm gonna get a whiteboard here. We're gonna start chalking them up. I already know the size. I'm gonna hang it up. We're gonna put each wasted question on the board and talk about it right after the interview. And start calling this shit out because a lot of these are fucking dumb. But again, let's move forward. I kind of want to get some sleep after this emotional roller coaster that was the 2025-26 Bears season.
play where you hit your hand on the pass rusher's arm on the first drive?
Yeah, ended up getting a little bit of pressure, and I got to go back and watch, but to see if I could complete it or anything like that. But got my hand hit, and my hands are right. I don't know if that's what you're. Yeah, my hands are. Yeah, hands are right.
Caleb, of excellence. How did you describe the elements tonight? Obviously, you're both feeling trying to figure out what the ice is doing and everything else.
Yeah, the elements weren't a factor for me. Practicing it every day. I'm in it every single day, and so wasn't a factor for me. And we just got to find ways to make plays.
You're very outwardly composed right now. What do you feel like on the inside after the way that game?
Yeah. It's a frustration. It's a fire. And those are the two words that I go with. So I'm excited though. Also, obviously not happy about the outcome. Obviously frustrated about the outcome. But that's over with, and I can't go back and change it. And so I'm going to go back and watch, figure out how I can be better for the near future and, help this organization get to where we want to be.
We talked about being excited for the future. What tangible steps can you take to make sure that you guys get this momentum back? Start a new momentum back.
Yeah, got to go and, watch some film and, talk to coach. And then from there, it's just work on accuracy, work on my feet in the offseason. It's get with the receivers and work with them and things like that throughout the offseason so that we're on the same page. We're starting off hot, for training camp OTAs and then going into next season. Awesome.
Caleb Williams, yeah, I hope that's the case. I hope that's the case. You carry this, like I said. Don't be, discouraged or down about it, but know that you could have been better. Know that you should have won this game. Be angry about it. Be, fueled by it, like I said, but don't act like the sky is really falling, because it really is not. We have only just begun. Like I said, this is the beginning of something good. And if these mistakes can be corrected and, you take a step as far as your younger players are concerned and you add more talent on both sides of the ball where you can on offense and definitely on defense, we could be cooking with gas. There's enough on this foundation. There's enough leadership, coaching wise, and on this football team as far as players are concerned, that I believe this team can make another run right away. Right away. Caleb Williams makes you believe. And, the way Ben Johnson came out here and really, took the city and ran with it. Like, he just took us by surprise and really earned all of our, admiration and respect of him being our head coach, and we're encouraged above the future. But again, it has to stick with him. You have to carry it for motivation throughout the season, because you're one fucking play away. You're one more play away. Each and every guy, I could see it. We've seen the growth. We've seen it throughout. In the losses, you talk about San Francisco, you talk about Green Bay, talk about Detroit. One more play. You make one more fucking play and you win the ball game. One more stop on defense. One more catch on offense. One more good coaching call. One more good fucking tackle. Again, I've already said this earlier in the show, but it's the truth. One more, and it's a different story. But it all starts with those guys and how much work they're willing to put in to be great this offseason. We got one more, and then I'm going to wrap things up. This is Caleb from today. Like I said, it's clearing everything up. I'm sure they had their exit interviews and everything like that. And here it is.
Reflecting for you this morning, have you had a chance to even process anything yet, or how will that play out for you?
Yeah, on the drive home, actually last night, being able to drive home and you're expecting to wake up the next day and come into the facility and watch the film and do all these different things. And, you get into such a routine. And so, you on the drive home, you're thinking about it. On the drive home, you're contemplating on, the game. You're contemplating on, you don't know who all is going to be here next year. You don't know, all these different things. And so reflecting back on it, supremely grateful, supremely appreciative of everyone here, organization, like I said, last night, Chicago, the city, and its support and love for us. And then everybody's commitment and level of sacrifice that everybody's provided to be in this moment.
Kevin, you had a chance to talk to DJ, just talk through what happened last play?
We haven't. We all the stuff this morning. Everybody's been in different places with the exit meetings and all these different things. But definitely something that we'll discuss, but also we'll discuss with all the other wide receivers coming up in the future of next year. Being able to just get on the same page in those moments, and it's small things like that show up in those moments that you may not have talked about, but being on the same page or talking about it, maybe week 1 or week 6, it shows up in week 18 or whatever week we're in. And so, it's something that to learn from for myself, a learning experience. It's something for us to learn from as an offense and as a team, and we'll go do that at some point.
It just pissed me off that Caleb's over here answering the questions by himself. Like DJ should be fucking here there too. I'm not talking about right next to each other or whatever, but he needs to be fucking answering questions too. You got Caleb over here taking fucking bullets for you. Like that's, I don't fucking like it. I don't fucking like it. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I'm sorry. Regardless of the play, I don't fucking like that. Like you just, not necessarily you two need to talk, but you not answering any fucking questions from anybody, and having him go up there and having to fucking answer the questions that you should be fucking answering as well. That pisses me off.
There's a lot of people critical of DJ for that route out on the outside. What would you say to that from your perspective?
Yeah, like I said, it was just a miscommunication. Trying to just flatten him off under safety. And since the other safety was down, I felt like we had enough space over there, so I tried to flatten him off, and just a miscommunication. His route is to go deep and attack that angle, which he did, and we thought we were going to go under the safety at that point, and it didn't happen that way.
You said last night that this offseason you're going to focus on accuracy. Can you drill down a little bit more on like specific things with that you're going to try to focus on and how that's going to play out the next couple of weeks, months?
Yeah, just every single rep, every single moment that I have in the off season that I'm working out or practicing and getting those practice kind of game reps is where my mindset's going to be. And so being able to be in the offense for a year, being able to be comfortable in the offense now, being able to go back and look at, things I could have done better. Was I too far forward? Was I too far back? Was I not consistent enough with my footwork? And, did I lean off and fall off the mound is what we call it, and things like that. So it's just, super small things to be able to be more consistent for the guys, for the team, be able to keep the offense on the field, as long as possible and, be as efficient as possible. And so that's something that I want to do for, myself and this offense and this team.
Caleb, I know this is still super fresh, but can you put into perspective what Ben Johnson has brought to Chicago this year?
Yeah. He's brought he's been the catalyst for us to be able to lead us, to be able to stand strong in tough moments and good moments, to be able to show emotion, be able to be who he is and be consistent with that and do, what he said he was going to do. He's been everything that Chicago's needed as a coach. And, we're happy to have him. I'm happy to have him as my coach and what he's been able to do for me. It's been unparalleled. And so, I'm excited about that. I'm excited that, we're going to be together. I'm excited about our future. I'm excited about, getting back here with him and growing more than I did this year. And so, and be able to, have games and moments like this, many times in our career.
Caleb, how did the success that you had individually and the team success make you hungrier?
Yeah.
For more?
Yeah. You get into these games, you get into, and you win a bunch of games, you get into these games, playoff games, and you're winning, and you play these good teams, and you see what you have to go against. You see what championship level is. You see what you need to do to be at the position that you want to be at the end of the year. And so you see what you have to do. You figure it out, and when you get knocked down, you get back up. And so that's what we're gonna do. That's my mindset. And so. We never stay down as a team. I think we've shown that this year. We never stay down. We keep fighting. And so, bringing that mentality into next year, and then finding ways to bring that hunger, for all four quarters in every single game is going to be important and something that we'll focus on, throughout the off season and throughout next year.
Yeah, I know it's early, but just thinking ahead, what do you think needs to be done so that you guys can sustain this next year? Cole talked about how much tougher it's going to be, obviously, but what are some of the things you guys can do to sustain the success you had this year going up?
Yeah, I think some of it is, I think it always comes down to the basics, making sure we do the basics the best we can as a team. Our focus level being at the highest level every single moment that we can, and that starts with the players, it starts with the coaches, being able to make sure that that is the focus every single week. And so and that starts in off season, that starts in OTAs and training camp. And so you don't win championships at this moment. You win championships in OTAs and training camp and things like that. And so, we'll figure it out. We'll come back together as a collective and find a way to go get back in the playoffs, back in the run, because that's where you ultimately want to be every single year.
It's not hard to see the impact that this team had on the city, but for you specifically, what has it meant? Like last year, this year, I mean, you have fans like doing the bear claw, like there's a matcha drink being sold at Soldier Field.
Yep.
There are people who are painting their nails now because you do it. Like,
Yep.
Do you take a sense of pride with all of those things now and being able to, be a figurehead for sports in this city for fans to follow?
Yeah, that was part of the reason why I said I can do it here, to bring life, to bring joy, to bring excitement, to being a Chicago Bears fan, to be able to cheer for us. So I do take pride in it. It's really cool, honestly, to be able to have those small things like that. Just being able to have the city behind you. And you lose that game and you're walking out of the game and the fans stand up and cheer and roar. In a tough moment, it goes a long way.
Thanks, man.
Sweet, the Bears.
Thank you, Caleb. Thank you.
All right, that was Caleb Williams for the last time this season. And what a season it was. I know you guys got me on here, and I'm trying to be as real as I can be with the situation, even though I'm really excited, and I did not want that to end. Just like all of you, I didn't want it to end. But like I said, the flaws showed, the issues in personnel showed, the things that we've talked about that have plagued this team all season in the most critical situations showed up. So, with a grain of salt, I'm going to take this. I'm looking forward to the off season. It's going to be a great one here at TTNL. We're going to be starting, hot. We're going to be coming out hot, I'm telling you, because this season, it's just a motivation. It's a motivation for everybody, for us as fans, for the Bears front office, the Bears players, Caleb, Ben. This is just the beginning. But something like this, where you knew you could have won, next time you're there, you get these opportunities. You have to be able to seize them. You can't. There's no more house money. There's no more house money. There's an expectation now. There's a standard that has been set, and there's a goal that has yet to be met. So for me, you have to take this offseason as it's the most important. It's the most important, and we've had a lot of these. It's the most important offseason for this Chicago Bears team because the window and the opportunity to strike is right now. And hopefully next season they don't go ahead and commit the same mistakes or have the same type of issues. Hopefully they could fix everything that they've, or at least almost everything that they know they can, right? The mechanics, the penalties, the over aggressiveness in play calling situations, those things can be corrected. But as far as the core here, the foundation, Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, all the young players on offense, some of the guys on defense, like I said, there's gonna be some turnover. They got me believing again, man. They got me believing. This season was awesome. Even though it sucked, we couldn't get it over the top. It was still a success, but it's got to leave you wanting more. And I know it leaves me wanting more. And I hope for Caleb Williams, career and legacy, that this offseason, is one of the best off seasons of his career. Like, one of the off seasons that takes him to that next level and gets him to where he wants to be as a quarterback, to where, he could go ahead and take our team and lead our team to a Super Bowl, because that's where we want to be ultimately. I look forward to next season, man. I know we call it next season, but we're just beginning. It's going to start very, very fast. I'm Ivan Vargas, guys. I appreciate you joining me. I wish you all the best for now. I'll definitely be popping up here probably in this next week. Who knows? Shit. Great season. Let's go ahead and jump into this offseason with some enthusiasm, some motivation, and a little bit of an edge. Like, we're here. Like, we're not some fucking one-off team anymore. I think this team right now made its mark on the NFL and put the NFL on notice that we're going to be a force to be reckoned with from here on out. And hopefully they do the damn thing next season. But all right, guys, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Become a patron today at www.thetapeneverlies.com. What was the score of the game here? I know Indiana just scored a touchdown. God, I hope they win. Hopefully somebody in the fucking Midwest can find some success. That's not a catch. Oh, yeah, definitely not. That ball's on the ground. Show the score so I can announce this. All right, 24-14. Indiana over Miami, even though Miami is driving right now. It looks like a 3rd and 10 with 7:35 on the clock. 7:35? Or is it 7:55? 7:55 on the clock. Anyways, talk to you guys later. Make sure you go ahead and check out Big Steve tomorrow on the Bear Down, 8:30 Central Time. And then, of course, you got Keeping It 100 on Wednesday, Cars Keys, and just keep a lookout for the draft mob and everything like that. Once we really get going, I'm gonna start cutting this tape right here real soon. So be prepared. All right, guys. Peace.